in place that Ambazonia, being the land of God, with the people of God, that is going to thrive, is going to survive. We want to again apologize to the people who were not able to get us on Facebook and YouTube. I had some little hitches, but we are on now. So please share the link while we wait for our resource person to join us as we continue in this particular program today. Now, we also want to make a vote of thank you to all Ambazonians who showed up on Saturday, the 25th of February, to make the federal draft a possibility, and who showed up on Saturday, the 18th of March, to make the federal draft a possibility. We want to say thank you to all of you. Now, while we are making this frantic effort to provide a means for our self-defense team to help us get us into Boya, there are a lot of people who instead see the suffering and the torture, the trauma of our people as a means of subsistence for them. What a sad story. And some of them are still hanging around. I have told you that our history is to quickly remind you of what has passed and what is presently going on and what has recently passed. That means that we talk and get into current events that turn into history. Today is the second and the last day of mourning as our president, the interim government president, Dr. Samuel, declared to the Ambazonian people to mourn our own because of the atrocities of La Republic of Cameroon, especially the excesses that happened a few days ago in Boya at the eve of our draft. Many of you already now know the story. And you know that notorious criminal, whom I'm told that he has the spirit of elephant. You know, elephant is not bigger than God, right? So God has given him a long rope to pull and to repent, or else he will perish. And so we are calling on Ambazonians who are mourning today, who are in sackcloth, just like Mordecai refused to eat in the days of Esther, and Esther sent clothes and they refused, just like we have refused to wear our beautiful clothes today, but to come out to let the Ambazonian people know that we are not happy, and to let the people know that we are not happy, and to let the world know that we are not happy. And why are we not happy? We are not happy because we have recognized that there is a conspiracy of silence when it comes to our plight. But Ambazonians, even in that conspiracy of silence by whoever that had the power to help and cannot help, I want to let you know that God is on our side. I say God is on our side. And because God is on our side, we are seeing a lot of things that are happening, which I would like to call or say that they are mysterious. Yes, because these mysterious things that are happening is as a result of our God doing it underground and doing it to the people who never could have believed that we're going to be where we are right now, still talking about what God is doing. But, beloved brethren and people of Amazonia, I want to let you know that our cause, our situation, is one of the situations that God has actually stepped down and said, let me go and see whether their cry is so far what I am hearing. I want to let you know, Amazonians, God has come, God has heard, and God has seen. And he is now working overtime. You know what I call overtime? I mean that he's working at the background. And that's why La Republic is surprised with all that they are doing, and they are unable to put Amazonia on its knees. It's not possible. Why is it not possible? Because Amazonians have taken a resolve, and this resolve is that they will go with God. And once you take a resolve that you are going with God, man, go and sit down and watch and see. You will tell the story. I am so excited with the people of Amazonia, who in every step and in every situation are calling upon the name of God, notifying and telling the rest of the people that God is on the throne. That is a thing that has never happened in the history of our land, where people unanimously, a faithful few, and who knows, like Elijah, who cried out and said, I'm left alone, and God had yet 700. And who know the 700 who have not bowed their knee to the demons of La Republic of Cameroon, and they are still fighting for Amazonia? Because those things are only known to God. That is why we want to tell all of us Amazonians that this battle nickname, that it is for God and it is God's battle, is going the right course. Let me let you know that if you are not there, it will not work. But let me also remind you that this should not make you to be high-minded, because if you are not there and the faithful few Amazonians, they continue with the God that I know. In fact, he told the Jewish people that if you will not praise Jesus, if these children will not, if you people will not praise Jesus, out of the mouth of sucklings, that means little children, they will praise him. Not only that, he said, if the little children too are muzzled and stop from praising him, guess what he will do? He will raise stones to praise his name. And that's why I'm very careful not to allow God in my generation to get into raising stones to stand and intercede for us. No, we don't want that. That is why I'm telling Amazonians, this fight is no different from the children of Israel in Egypt, and the only thing that could defeat them in the fight, I mean the Egyptians, was their relationship with God. These people's relationship with God. And there was a big change. Amazonia, the change is coming. You may not see it now, you may not perceive it, but I want to let you know that the change is coming. And this time around, it's going to be God himself who is bringing the change, not a human being. That is why he has just kept those who were clamoring, trying to make themselves something when they were absolutely nothing. He started packing them aside. The doctors, the engineers, the whosoever, he started just packing them aside little by little. Why? Because he knew that its time was going to come. And once the time comes, please take it from me, nobody can stop it. You know that? Yeah, I think you should know that. That once he starts acting and reacting, nobody can stop it. That is why Ambazonia, you must not relent your effort, and you must not allow some people sitting somewhere planning with La Republic to come and direct the narratives. You shouldn't do that. There is only one structure that is recognized in the world, and that's a governmental structure. Any other structure, they can tell me terrorists, can tell me rebel, they can tell me anything, and then they bring it to an end. But the cause of Ambazonia is a special cause that so many people have spoken. God has revealed things to people, and it's yet to come. But the glimpses and the little signs are they showing that we are going. And that's why our brother said, Abba, Father, you know my name. Let's get there.
Every time I look around, now you are the sea. Every time I turn around, now you are the below. Abba, Father, you know my name. Papa, you know me.
Whenever I hear this, there is a question that is searching in my heart. Abba, Father, you know my name. Somebody can know your name, but do you know his name? If God is your Father that knows your name, do you know his name? Let me bet you, Ambazonians, the population of those who know the name of God in Ambazonia shall be high. And that is why we are putting up rules and regulations, because human beings are the only people that classify themselves as animals that can kill one another, irrespective of the color, the tribe, the origin, but we have the same blood, different colors. But the enemy came in, took the church out of the right thing that they're supposed to do, and brought in people who were created by God, but have decided to follow the devil to bear the rule over God's people, which is wrong. Ambazonia is doing everything in its capacity and power to make sure that the wrongs are corrected. And that's why our government is very, very sensitive to the people of Ambazonia. And we know that the people of Ambazonia, they have gone through thick and thin. And there are people who are orchestrating this torture, this torment, this trauma, and they're still there. They answer Ambazonia, but they are the ones killing the Ambazonians. My history book tells me that by their fruit we shall know them. And the fruits have actually proven that there are people who say, and don't do a bit of what they say. Because if most of us who are calling God and we say he knows our name in Ambazonia, we would have concerted and come together. But that's what I heard from many, many versions, that was the master plan of the colonial master and La Republique, to make sure that they capture the people of Ambazonia, not as in war, capture them, and then gradually lead them to forgetting their identity. And that is our identity that we are trying to search out. I don't want to insult anybody, but if you look at an average person who is a colored person in America, whose origin is not from that country, maybe their parents and their parents' parents and something like that happened and they were born in those areas, many of them are regretting because they don't have a land that is called their own homeland. They are discriminated among themselves, and they are discriminated by the white folks that are staying with them. And so they look as if they are becoming powerless. But the only person that can impute this power to us is the person I'm talking to you about. They called him Jesus. He came on the earth here, walked the earth here, and gave to you and I the possibility and the capability and the power to be able to live for him. But the greatest question we ask is there anybody who has and is successfully living for him? Very few. And these few, the enemy is even trying to swallow them. The devil is trying to swallow them. And the good people of Ambazonia, who actually are doing their possible best to make sure that Ambazonians are liberated, are receiving hits from who? Not from Ambazonians, but from some infiltrators and some, we call them contractors of La République du Cameroon. But we are focused. That is why the interim government is giving instructions and they are being fully followed by those who want to go to Boya. The majority who want to go to Boya. As I told you, today we are supposed to be wearing black. Some people must have forgotten, but some of us have not forgotten. And some of you have seen that, like I said before, this death that occurred untimely, us being killed by La République du Cameroon. When they kill you, we do not retaliate because we know the consequences. But let me tell you, Ambazonians, don't think that you are fools because some people may be inciting you and telling you that you are fools. You should go and join and do what they are doing to Ambazonians. I have said it, and I want to say it again, that if we say that God is the author of this fight, definitely we should allow him to finish it for us. But I heard some people who challenging themselves, thinking that they are challenging God or challenging the servants of God. And some of them who are without knowledge will come up and fabricate stories and want us to run with those stories. That is lies, propaganda, lies that are not relevant. Child of God, in this revolution, please, if we do not want the anger of God, let us maintain our cool and our highway of holiness before God. You know why? Because if you go and tell a lie in order to save a situation, some people will say, no, Pastor, you have gone too far. Yes, I know. But if you tell a lie to save Ambazonia, you are no different, and you are no different from that outright killer, physical killer of the Ambazonians. You say, what? I say, yes. Because if we did not bring in God in this affair, we can go behind Satan. and do like Satan does, what will he do? He's a liar, he's a killer, he's a cheat. Everything evil which La Republic is practicing is a replica of what the devil actually is and does. But look at the average Ambazonian. He has a compassion, he has a heart for other people. Not only for himself, but for other people. But you see the selfishness of this devil. He will take people and store them somewhere and tell them do. And when they do, at the end of the day, he comes back to torment them. We have seen this several times. Look at La Republic. Look at where they are today. Yesterday, they were like bright, shining, and boisterous and faring sumptuously. But today, go and find out from an average minister or whoever in La Republic of Cameroon. Today is the 21st of March. Go and find out. You will discover that 3/4 of them, if not all, they are living in fear. In fear of tomorrow. What's going to happen tomorrow? They are afraid. Why? Because their wickedness and the wickedness that man does to man can never go unnoticed by God and can never go unpunished by God. That's why we are telling the Amazonian people to calm down. Calm down and be what God wants you to be. Then you'll be able to enjoy the fruit of our land when we get there. Ambazonians, I glean around a lot and I notice a number of things that you ought to know. And what are the things that you ought to know? The things you ought to know, number one, is that this interim government is not a structure sitting somewhere. And then there's somebody who is sitting with his legs crossed as the big man of the biggest. That's why our president is a servant. You hardly find people going to kneel down, bow, worship him, go and give him a bath, and so on. No. Because we know that the battle does not belong to us physically, it belongs to God, and God has chosen the people that are fighting. Today, we were to talk on our educational system, bringing in some few things. Unfortunately, our resource person is not here, but we actually plan to let Ambazonians know that there is no illiterate in the 21st century that is living in the society. What do I mean? I mean that it is better to keep your child alive and call him uneducated, call him illiterate, and then keep that person alive, than to give the person education and then at the end of the day, he dies being educated. So the question I'm asking many of Ambazonians, do you want, if at all, because some of our parents went to adult school, and I think that adult school is going to be reinforced in Ambazonia so that our people can know how to write their names at least and read. But everybody is in a hurry, and some of them have come out with some dirty theories and propaganda. Oh, he's talking like that because his children are this and that and that and that. My dear friend, the history book by the author says that there is time for everything under the sun. There is time for war, and there is time to refrain from war. It is there in the Bible. So there's nothing that is happening here that we say it is new, because there's nothing new under the sun. So we were going to be touching those areas and see the deceit of the Western world when they came to us. They were busy researching and building industries, but they come to us and be asking is, How many eyes does a butterfly has? What part of speech is go? And so many of those very funny things that you grow up in a society and they are very, very irrelevant. You're a doctor of what? I'm a doctor in agriculture. Good, because you prepare food and you help us. But many doctors of agriculture are not in the field. They are sitting in the office. Ambazonia is going to make sure that we don't take such such a system. We will go into a system whereby talents will be earlier identified and put in perspective so that tomorrow we will not only have them turn around in the offices, but they will be engineers in the field. And they will orientate us on what to do and how to go. We will hire some of these folks to come and teach our children the act of the matter. That is the style and how to do it. There are so many of our people who were engineers, trained as engineers, but when they came back home, since an average, I want to say an average African, because I know that they sit tight when you are given a position. I notice it just in the interim government, where some of those thieves who came in, the people say, no. You have been our chairman for this number of times, but please, right now, we don't want you again. Fight, start. Why? Because there is a brainwashing mentality that when you are a big man, you sit in an armchair and you are turning around instead of going to work. So Ambazonia is getting to a stage where anybody who passes through the curriculum or the school of Ambazonia will be an expert in his or her field of choice. Is it road construction engineer? Is it mineral engineer? Is it all of them? That is the plan. I'm giving you these incentives so that those of you who are folding your hands and you are seeing the danger that the Republic is posing to our children's children, I don't want them to come and go through what we have gone through. They will need to sit up and make sure. In the field of medicine, I do not know, but we have hundreds, if not tens, of our Ambazonian people who are medical doctors, and they have done research until some of them are specialists treating other people in other countries. But Ambazonia is having plans to make sure that each department, each infrastructure is structured in such a way that those who are living abroad will see themselves as slaves and rush back to build together. Because we're going to build. So, my fellow Ambazonians and people of Ambazonia, our land has everything that we need in this life to keep us going. Everything to keep us going. They have it. And because of the kind of selfishness and other things that I've told you about, we are where we are. But guess what? We are moving forward. The people of Goodwill got up on Saturday, the 18th of March, and proved to the world and to those who are sitting on the fence that Ambazonia is going to be constructed and reconstructed by Ambazonians. Thank you very much Ambazonians that dip your hands into your pockets and came up with what you came up with. Thank you very much. We are extremely very proud of all of you. And to those of you at home front who were scattered because of some people who are spiritually captured to play the role of the devil to destroy our people, I want to say, God bless you. Yes, God bless you. Some of you who recognize yourselves and said, no, let me go back to where I belong and then make my contribution where I belong. And you came in. That was very bold of you. Thank you. Thank you. Want to talk to those who are still hanging out there, having realized that they were deceived because they thought that they were going to deliver. And you have now realized and recognized not true. Please, no shame die. Talk am so that your conscience can be free. Don't be locked up in that bondage. Don't be locked up in that bondage. It is time for you to come out plain and say it over that this is what I thought, but the reverse became the truth. Well, we are still calling on all of you Ambazonians, especially those who fall in between the rank of the 15,000 that was a pledge, as the results show, to please do something so that we can do something. The education of the Ambazonian people is already going on very seriously. And to those of you who are not listening to what we are saying on this government platform, because we have come to a point where we have decided that we will do our best not to go the La Republic way of lies telling, but to tell you the truth. Like I said, if you say you are working for God and you are doing what people who say are not working for God are doing, you are in the same category. God does not have toy. No. That when you steal and then the other person steal, God will punish that one because he's outside and leave you because you are in the house. No, sir. It doesn't work like that. A man of justice is a man of justice and is straight. So what I'm saying is that the Ethics Commission, the Judiciary Department, they are coming in every week at least to give us education and to motivate us and let us know how our land is going to be. But many people are even lazy. My resource person who was supposed to be here with me was going to talk about the importance of reading books that have been written before us and even those that have been written behind us. And I've discovered that an average Ambazonian is not as lazy and copyrighted like La Republic du Cameroon, because we made research. So I want to encourage you Ambazonians to still go get a number of books, one of them being the one that our president has written, Let the Righteous Many Step Up. Get a copy of that book, chew it, and then get a copy of the other books that other Ambazonians have written that we have censored and they are true to what they are saying. Get yourself very much involved and do something. Finally, I want to let the Ambazonians know that as we are preparing to go to Boya, and as people have known that God has spoken in diverse ways, using those who are very close to him and those who are not close to him, that Ambazonian will be. There are still some people who are fighting that Ambazonian should not be. And I've told us several times, I want to be repeating myself, that please, don't lay the blame so much on them. There is a spirit, an evil spirit, that most of Ambazonians that don't know the Savior, Jesus, who came to save the whole world, personally, they are under a spell. They are under a spell. They may not know. Some of the things that some of them are doing, they are doing it under influence. And when you ask them, they will claim that they absolutely know what they are doing, but it's not true. Because if you absolutely know what you are doing, and you are doing the opposite, the contrary, but your speech is showing that you are absolutely doing what you are doing, then there is something wrong somewhere. And we have discovered that it is the power of Mungang. You know what they call Mungang? Mungang is a demon back that is actually ruling in the hearts of many people in the world. In Africa, in Europe, in Asia, in Australia, every continent, there is this devil that they have used Mungang to hypnotize, and you cannot even think. My dear people of Ambazonia, it is time for us to arise. Join hand with your LGA, with your county, in this present administration and regime of President Saku, because he is not going to be the president of Ambazonia forever and ever. God forbid. Or else, a time will come, if Christ tarries to come, that will have an ancestor sitting on the throne that doesn't know anything, like it's happening in most French countries, especially in the Republic of Cameroon. We have ancestors ruling us. People that cannot travel 3 meters in less than a minute. I mean, people are completely gone to come and sit on the throne in this 21st century, to be leaders as if we are still in the Stone Age. They'll take all ancestors that cannot reason, that these white folks will come in and continue to deceive them. Ambazonia is not getting to that era. That is why we encourage all the youths of Ambazonia. If you are a youth in Ambazonia and you are not contributing your quota, what do I mean? You don't have $1,000 to draft, but you have pocket money that your parents give you every morning, and you have decided not to drink that coffee again. Bring that $1 or that 2 cents. Bring them, put them in the coffers of Ambazonia so that they can execute. And to most of you who are sitting there, even back at home, and with a careless hand, you say, "Nada their thing, nada their thing." I want to advise you, stop. It is not their thing. It is our thing. And if our thing is not done by us properly, the outsider will not do it for us the way we would have wanted it to be. That's why I've seen some artistic drawing of what our nation is going to look like, and sincerely, I immediately desire to be back home, because it is so clear that we will not remain in this wilderness forever. It is very clear from God and clear from the people that be, that will not stay in one country with people who are crabs. Crabs. Get a very big bucket or a basin that's not too deep. Put crabs inside that basin. Instead of them to use the method of the monkey to allow and carry one inside the sack in his stomach. But the crab will not allow even one single person to win the race by walking out of that bucket or of that plate or that pan. Why? As the person is going up, the crab will go nyama, 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 and before he realizes, he has pulled the person back. That's very sad. So, Ambazonians, today, marking the last day of mourning, let us send in what we pledged and let Ambazonia know that God depends on us as we depend on him, because it is a vice versa. God will not leave heaven and come down to the earth here and do anything for us. He will not. That is why he needs people in Ambazonia in every field. I want to let you know that very soon our program, You and Your Health, will come back to stay. You and Your Health, where the producer will be getting experts to share fundamental information, because information is knowledge, or knowledge is power. Knowledge is power. With knowledge, nobody can just drive you into the forest and drive you back. No. You will know your right standing and you will know where you are. And that is where Ambazonians are going. So if you are a youth, please don't stay on the fence. Listen to me. Don't stay on the fence. It is time to come in now and get your place. It is time to come in now and get your place. Because let me tell you, we are getting to Boya. Possibly after tomorrow. When I mean after tomorrow, I mean that next year. Okay? Because this year, God is finishing everything for us. And next year, a number of pilgrims and sojourners will start to go back home. Now, when we get back home, I want to tell Ambazonians, there is no position that I am going to occupy. And a good number of people of my age who are very conscientious of what God has called and brought them in to do. What I'm doing here is just to educate you. I have no interest but the interest of the youths, that they will really, really see what a country with the youths can do. Because Ambazonia is getting ready to groom the youths, groom you in such a way that tomorrow you will be accountable. And the government will be in your hands. Some of us would have been advanced, that we could only sit down and give counsel like John the Beloved. So it is time, Ambazonians, for the youths who are ladies, youths who are men, please find your place, get into the Ambazonia struggle and become a part and parcel of this struggle, and bring your contribution intellectually and financially. We have, this battle has a lot of branches. You have the intellectual branch, you have the financial branch, you have the think tank, you have the spiritual. All these accumulate to work as a team. And that's why we are succeeding. Because we have all this. And there's no jealousy, no fighting, no skirmishes in this particular onward journey. So youths, again, I'm calling on all of you. Please come in. The future we are building is not for ourselves, it's a future for you. Yes, it's a future for you. And if you like to take the future, this is the time to start taking the future. Not La Republic that will just get our one money, pick a one Gary boy, whom we have never seen in the public doing anything or sharing anything, suddenly to come make him president or appoint him like Paul Biya was appointed. Remember, I told you that elections were never conducted in La Republic of Cameroon, was appointment. And when somebody appoints you, definitely he controls you. So let's call it quit for today, and hopefully we'll be able to get our resource person to share on the topic that I just told you we were coming in to share today. So thank you very much once more. Don't go away. Stay tuned to more of our programs on ABC. Yeah, Pastor, go ahead and tell us.
You are the view. I dey hear my heart. Lord, I feel your love over me. Every time I look around, now you are the sea. Every time I turn around, now you are the pillow. I'm a father, you know my name. Papa, you know me. Yeah. Yelele, 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 yelele. Yelele, 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 yelele. Yeah, yeah. Jesus, your love, now oh. My master, your kindness, now wonder oh. Every time I look around, now you are the sea. Every time I turn around, now you are the view. Jesus, you said I be a picking, no. Jesus, you said your love go cover